It's on. Ready? We should start.
He's fixing your mic. He's fixing your mic.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to start. Shabbat Shalom. Is it working? Shabbat Shalom.
It's like hiding behind her.
All right. Welcome. Good to see everyone here this evening. Though not my first service, my first Erev Shabbat service together with you, so it's very good to be here, along with Stefanie and Alex. We are going to be leading the service, prayers and singing. We invite you to join with us throughout to make this very participatory. We are going to begin on page 10 with Hine Matov, how good and pleasant it is for all of us to be here together.
Hine Matov,
Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad.
how good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
how good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
Shalom
Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. We'll continue on page 6. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. And we'll continue together. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the highlight of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Page 12, we'll continue with Lechu Neranana.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nariya l'tzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'tzoda, bizmirot nariya lo.
And we'll turn all the way back to page 344 for the singing of Shir Chadash.
Shiru Adonai kol ha'am
שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
I will sing unto God a new
Song. And we'll turn back to page 2 for lighting of Shabbat candles. I'd like to invite Rebecca Lochenbach to come and lead us in the lighting and blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Blessed art you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. He hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we'll continue with Anan v'Arafel, page 14.
Anan va'arafel sevivav, tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. Anan va'arafel sevivav, tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. Stefanie telech uterahet seviv tzarav. 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 Ya la la la, 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 ya la la la,
Page 17, we'll continue singing together Rom Memu, the bottom 3 lines of Hebrew.
Remember Adonai Eloheinu v'nishkachavu lehar gocho. Remember Adonai Eloheinu v'nishkachavu lehar gocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu
והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. We'll continue with Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21, and do not fear, I'm not changing the verses on you. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. During the last verse, if you like to stand and face the doorway to symbolically greet the Shabbat bride, please do so. Anyone watching on live stream as well, we welcome you and invite you to stand where you are to face the doorway to your room.
Kabbalat, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat, Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, Hishmianu El HaMiuchad, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad, L'Shem U'Tiferet V'Litila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Oy v'shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam b'simcha, u'v'tzola, Toch emunei, Am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Page 22, continue with Mizmor Shir. Mizmor Shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulezamer l'Shimcha Elyon, Ulezamer l'Shimcha Elyon. Mizmor Shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulezamer l'Shimcha Elyon, Ulezamer l'Shimcha Elyon. Gid baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha balelot alei
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפעלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. On page 24, we have welcomed the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi. We also welcome the ministering angels that God sends to us on Shabbat, and we wish them peace as they enter. We sing Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 26.
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbi.
Amen.
B'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei
B'chayechon uvyomechon uchayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala ba'agala uvizman kariv.
v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yesh merabba mevorach le'olam olol me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei d'kodeshah
Urichu
le'lamin kol berchata v'shirata
tushbechata v'nechemata damihiran be'alma.
v'yimeru.
Amen. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
And we'll continue on page 31 in the middle together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Continue with Ahavat Olam, page 32.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסתיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
For those who wish to stand for Shema, please do so. If you'd like to remain seated, please do.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39, we'll read together at the top. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha, page 40. באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושי פלא, נורא תהילות עושי פלא.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו.
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
The laminated sheets, or the sheets that you have in front of you, has at the top of one of the two pages the song Shelter Us, a version of Hashki Venu. We'll sing that together now.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. And we turn from the peacefulness and rest of Shabbat to the joy of Shabbat as we sing together Vishamru, page 44. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam,
oti leolam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Ki sheshet yamim
Asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
V'vayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'inafash,
Shabbat
vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now turn to page 46 and the following pages in Hebrew for Tefillah. Please rise.
Adonai
Sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Surat Sarah.
Atah
Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia,
Morid
Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofech Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayei Memunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua,
V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kdoshim b'chol yom yalelucha Selah. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We'll continue reading silently through page 60. When you're done, please be seated. We'll continue together, page 61, reading Prayer for Peace.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, Shalom. I'll continue with Shalom Rav, Prayer for Peace, page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Ki atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We'll take a moment now for individual silent prayer and reflection.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We turn now to prayer for healing for loved ones. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech v'yirapeh kol cholei Yisrael v'kol cholei Adam. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think especially of Greg Williamson, Marion Gaval, Al Brewers, Richard Allison, Barry Johnson, Alan Webb, Beth Freger, Byron Block, Martin Arnold, Marianne Helen Clements, Pam Pace, and Alan Richard, Eugene Dropkin, Fernando Casillas, Doris Bernal, Jose Carreno, Naomi Harris, Jenny Engelbrecht Barberino, Megan Lagasse Vanderlei, Marjorie Gilberg, Amy Jackson, Diana Fernandez, David Greenberg, David Priceman, Selma Samansky, Faye Barnett. If anyone has a name or names of someone else who is sick or injured in need of healing, please feel free to mention it as I look around in your direction. And those watching on live stream, feel free to mention names at this time as well.
Marianne Rosales, Leah Barnhart, Christopher Haddard, Bishop Archie. Grace Boyd.
V'tishlach lehem refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf v'nomar. Amen. May God grant all of them, those whose names have been read and mentioned, those in our own hearts and minds, a complete and speedy healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. And we say together, Amen. We'll join on page 253 in the singing of prayer of healing for loved ones, Mishaberach.
Sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
A number of years ago, in a previous congregation, I was invited to speak at a Bible camp at a local church about Jewish life 2,000 years ago. And I was told that one goal was for the children in the camp to realize that not everyone was Christian at the time of Jesus' childhood. Now, gently but clearly, I emphasize that, in fact, no one was Christian at that time, as Christianity had not yet come into existence. Now, I by no means want to appear critical. After all, I appreciated the invitation and the effort to reach out to a broader religious community, and not to mention that I really enjoyed my visit. But this incident, along with many others, makes me keenly aware of our tendency, all of us, to view the world through our own lenses. We Jews, no matter how open-minded we take pride in being, are no exception. In this week's Torah portion, Pinchas, we see a clear example of the tendency to see life through a particular prism. Our portion is named after a biblical zealot, Pinchas, who, at the end of last week's portion, brutally killed an Israelite man and a Midianite woman who were seen going into his tent together. They were caught in the act, so to speak, and Pinchas murdered them as a result. And then, in this week's portion, we read that God actually praises Pinchas for his zealous act and even removes a severe plague from the Israelites as a reward. Now, to be honest, I am extremely repulsed by the episode described in this text, and I am sure that I am not the only one who feels this way. Is this the God we believe in? A vengeful God who rewards a vigilante reaction resulting in brutal murder? As an attempt at justification, we read that the Moabite women intentionally were luring Israelite men, causing them to commit idolatry and other sins. And of course, I do not condone such acts. Nonetheless, as adults, the Israelite men were making their own choices. And furthermore, it is hard for us to accept murder as a solution to a problem, let alone the glorification and rewarding of such an act. Now, some people will say that it's just a story. It happened long ago, if it happened at all. And the values were different then. Yet I firmly believe that despite the many differences between biblical times and today, essentially, human nature has remained the same. We often still tend to see things in polarized terms and often choose to act extremely in our religious and nationalistic zeal and in our judgment of others. This happens often and in many ways, but we unfortunately need look no further than to recent events to find blatant examples of such dangerous thinking. And honestly, I'm not thinking of any particular event. The sad part is that you could think of a whole number of examples. Our country is becoming more deeply polarized due to the words and actions of extremists. While I believe that most people are moderate, individuals and groups on both far ends of the spectrum are using incendiary language, resulting in brutality and even death. Despite our sadness and anger, however, we must acknowledge that retaliatory violence and even murder are not appropriate responses for such crimes. They act not as deterrence, but rather provide further instigation. And they further divide and weaken us as a democratic society. This week's Torah portion is one of the examples used in some extremist circles as justification for such violent words and acts, and this is not acceptable, not in other parts of the world, nor here at home. There is even an extreme view I have heard expressed that Pinchas's actions justify similar violent measures being taken against Reform Jews, because we have strayed from what is called true, i.e. traditional Judaism. And similar words are being spoken about acting against other groups as well, as we know. Yes, we must be vigilant in preventing immoral, violent behavior. Yet we cannot allow our lofty values to lead us to narrow-minded blame and hatred of other groups, nor to a desire to cause harm to others. We must avoid making generalizations about members of any group due to stereotyping. When individuals act in a way that is potentially harmful to others, we need to focus on eradicating the behavior, not the person. And if there comes a time when there is no choice in the matter, But self-defense is the only option. We must refrain from taking pride and or pleasure in these acts. One of my favorite midrashim, which I refer to often, is a rabbinic parable that is based on the story of Exodus, of the crossing of the Sea of Reeds, the Red Sea. The story goes that after crossing the sea to freedom, escaping from Pharaoh's soldiers, the angels and Israelites burst into songs of praise and jubilation to God. And instead of joining in that praise and jubilation, God gets angry at them and chastises them and says to them, "My children are drowning, and you sing praises?" Yes, at times we need to fight to ensure our survival after all else has failed. And we are most thankful for the dedication and sacrifices of those who defend our freedom, no more so than on this Shabbat, immediately following the 4th of July. But let us also remember that we are all human beings, God's children, and that despite our differences, we all have value and worth. Let us learn from our Torah portion this week, even through questioning and reinterpreting its words, that the spirit of its message, if not its literal teaching in this case, is that we need to value life by preserving both life itself and the quality of it. Only then will we truly be worthy of God's blessing. Shabbat Shalom. And now I'd like to ask anyone, as I know is the custom of this congregation, if you have good news to share, to please share it with all of us. Anyone have something good they want to share? Yes.
My sister was visiting me for a week.
Wonderful. Welcome. And that's great for both of you. And we're glad to have you with us. And anyone who is sharing good news, if you'd like, please do come up and help open the ark. I will do one by one.
This afternoon, I was late for the lunch, and everybody was worried about me, and I thought that was awful nice.
That's wonderful. And I hope that's the essence of what this community is, a caring community. So that's great. That says a lot about you as well. Yes. Welcome.
My mom won first place in Mahjong.
That's fantastic.
Like a month or something like that.
Now, you don't want to upset too many others who were playing, but that's great news. Great news. Lois? Thank you, Lois. Thank you. We are both very grateful to be here. I know I can speak on behalf of both of us. Thank you, Lois, for always being so kind and caring. Larry?
Today is Patricia and I's 39th wedding anniversary.
Mazel tov. Wonderful. Thank you for spending it here with us.
My 14-and-a-half-month-old grandson started walking.
Oh, okay.
Salto.
That's good. That's wonderful. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yes, on Monday, Stefanie came by my house and put my mezuzah on my front door. So it's
Mazel tov. That's a wonderful thing. Excellent. Wonderful. I wish you a great visit.
My nephew just turned 4 last week.
Oh, is that wonderful?
Fantastic.
I'm officially a member.
Hey!
All right, welcome. Welcome. That's fantastic. Boy, so much good news this week.
I know.
Incredible.
And as a reminder,
Others?
if you're not already a member,
Never
you
can have
talk
too
to me
much.
about
Anyone
it.
else? Yes, Lee.
Grateful that I was able to visit some family in Washington, D.C. last week.
Absolutely. Good place to be. Anything else? Well, I'll just yes, please. Yes, go. Okay. We did on the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. we were married. So yes. So that was a very special occasion, and I will say that today is what, the 8th? 7th. On Monday, it'll be 31 years since Wendy and I met, and also 35 years since my ordination on Monday, July 10th. So yeah, very special week. Well, what a lot of joy that comes into the sanctuary. Please, anyone who shared good news, if you would like, come up and help us with opening the Ark as we turn to page 282 and join in Aleinu. Ask everyone else to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach
Beach ladon hakol, latekinu la liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kiguye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech mochei hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'Yoser Haaretz, U'Moshe V'Karo B'Shamayim Ima'al, U'Shchinatu Zo, V'Gavhei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, v'ya'aretz mitachat einod, v'nemar v'hayadonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Thank you all. Thank you. Please be seated. Page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. And in this Shabbat, we think of those who are observing Shloshim, for Fritz Kirsch, husband of Sarah Ladelpha Kirsch, Eric Moten, dear friend of Joy Ellsworth, Susan Shapiro, beloved member of the community. We also remember for Yartzeit, the anniversary of death, Rosa Istral, Albert G. Gassman, Jack Haskell, Opal Chasen, Irene Soffen Milberg, Lynn Kessler, Maurice Weissman, Arnold Schwartz, Faye Pollock, Coralie Smith, Adina Pevsner Simmons, Harold Haskins, Elsie Rittenberg, Alfred M. Wanish, Solomon Merzer, Ida Perlman Myers. If anyone has name or names that they'd like to add for Shloshim, a recent death, or Yartzeit, anniversary of death, please feel free to do so as I look in your direction once again. And again, those watching on live stream, feel free to mention names at this time as well.
Judge Jimmy Hankinson.
For the names that have been read and mentioned, for those in our own hearts and minds, and for those who have no one to say the words of Kaddish for them, we turn in the prayer book to page 294. There we find words of Kaddish praising God for the gift of life and the precious memories we have of loved ones. It's our custom to stand together as a sacred congregation to support those in mourning and join in reading this prayer together if you choose. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shmei d'kedusha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, all Israel, and all of humanity. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. And I'd like to invite Jesse Colvin, who is representing our temple board, for some greetings and announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I want to extend a special welcome to our new members and any special guests, as well as to Rabbi Paul and wife Wendy, for this being the first of many Friday night services that they'll be here with us. All right, announcements for this week. Shabbat morning services with Rabbi Sidlofsky will be at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so please join us if you can. Our Temple Youth Group party are scheduled to participate in the Letakim Social Justice Seminar in February of 2024 with the Religious Action Center in Washington, D.C. As the cost of flights, food, housing, and the seminar itself adds up, we are asking for your help to make this trip happen. All funds raised will be used to help cover the students' required fees. Please see the link in the Temple Times, which we hope is now fixed, by the way, to contribute. In Hebrew, Letakim means to repair. Please consider donating so that these valued community members can take the next step in their journey of working to repair the world. And for more information, contact Maura Stefanie or Maura Leah. Join us for a crossover event on July 22nd. Game night meets Havdalah Cookout. Interesting combination. Games start at 5 p.m., Havdalah and hot dogs at 6 p.m., followed by more games. And for details on everything going on at the temple, please read your Temple Times or check our Facebook and Instagram accounts. There is something for everyone at Temple Israel. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Jesse, for those announcements. And I want to mention also that 2 weeks from tonight, we'll have a special Shabbat evening service with board installation as well as a baby naming that is taking place. So it'll be a fun evening. So please join us for that, as well as next Shabbat, of course. And again, thank you all for the welcome. Jesse, thank you for your kind words. And Wendy and I are thrilled to be here. And this basically completes one full week from Shabbat morning to today. So And they said it wouldn't last, right? One full week. So it's been great. It's been an amazing week full of great things, and I've stayed inside a lot. So everyone's apologizing for the weather, but it's been great. We're loving it here. We are going to continue with our concluding song, page 353, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. So please join us.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. And we'll join in Kiddush on page 5. And before reciting Kiddush, I want to say a special thank you, not only to everyone for coming, but also especially to Stefanie and Alex for the amazing music for this service, and in particular for being such great partners. This has been an incredible start, and we are all so excited to be working together and looking forward to doing great things with this congregation. And I think Stefanie's excited to have someone else doing services, right? Doing a dance. And I will, a little secret, I've been watching a lot of the services, often recorded after, because I've been doing services on Shabbat evening, but watching them for many weeks to get familiar, and I've just been loving watching. But to be up here leading it is a real treat. So looking forward to many of those. So please join, please join in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lemase bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
Chaim.
Can I just say something before Motzi? I have to say, yes, I did a little dance because I'm very excited that Rabbi Sidlofsky is here. Not just because he's here leading services. I absolutely love being up on the bima and leading for this congregation. It's been a joy and a privilege and an honor to do so. But to have a partner in Rabbi Sidlofsky up here to really just take the reins has been wonderful because I'm looking forward to learning from him so much. So thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you so much. Will, you want to lead?
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz te'avon. Shabbat shalom.
so much fun.